Good morning, Lieutenant Harwood.
Lieutenant, got a minute? I ran those names from the dog tags through everything I had on my data drive.
And?
Nothing. I thought there'd be some sort of common theme, like being from the same area or same department or same pay grade, but none of them have anything in common. There's nothing in their correspondence that seems like they're contacting a handler or anything. It's just various regular messages back home to family and friends. Either Everreach's rivals have some deep espionage going on, or something else is up.
Sounds like it. Thanks for the heads up, Julian. Keep researching.
Morning. Sleep well?
Eventually. Any updates?
So, my comms team and I stayed up all night trying to scrub through all the backlogged comm traffic, and we think we have a lead. Most of the comm traffic from the other outposts is dated weeks ago, around the first Eclipse attacks, and is just general distress calls. The one exception is Nebula Outpost in the southern desert biome. They're the furthest from Eclipse, so I had some hopes they'd be okay. They sent 2 messages. The first was the same distress call as everyone else. The second one was only 4 days ago, and it was for Nova specifically.
Why? What did it say?
Nova Outpost, this is Nebula. Please respond. If you receive this and you're still fighting, we can help each other. I have vital information that I can't trust to open channels. Eclipse may be monitoring. If you get this, we must speak directly. Please.
Have you tried to contact their outpost?
Yes, and no one's responded, but
But you want me to go check it out.
this message is pretty recent. There may still be survivors who can't respond for some reason.
And if not, the information is likely to be on their computer systems. So, even if everyone is dead, it is not a total loss.
I wouldn't have put it that way, but she has a point.
She usually does.
Get ready. It's a long trip. I've already uploaded the coordinates.
Lieutenant, you read me?
Loud and clear. Anything I should know about what I'm getting into?
Nebula was primarily a scientific outpost. Its chief tasks were scanning for electromagnetic fields and performing geological surveys.
Right, what the robot said. You've got the coordinates. If you meet Dr. Palchenko, tell them I sent you. They'll trust me, or at least they should.
What the hell? More eclipse?
They gain considerable distance to shoot them.
What's going on?
Can't talk right now. Why would Eclipse come all the way out here?
A desire for more violence?
Gotta be that message. Maybe they figured they could take our people out when we investigated.
Either that, or they want to make sure we don't find out what it's about.
Lieutenant, I regret to inform you that I am experiencing malfunction.
73, what happened? Did you take a hit?
Worse, I got sand in my casing. It's extremely unpleasant. Incoming hostiles.
All right. Anything else Eclipse wants to throw at us? Okay, I brought that on myself.
Lieutenant, recommend we maneuver to avoid or block line of sight on the gunship while finding safe route onwards to the outpost. Lieutenant, recommend we maneuver to avoid or block line of sight on the gunship while finding safe route onwards to the outpost. Lieutenant, recommend we maneuver to avoid or block line of sight on the gunship while finding safe route onwards to the outpost. No signs of pursuit. It appears we are in the clear.
Still, let's get a bit of distance between us and that thing.
Nora, are you there?
Jay, I read you. What's your status? How close are you to Nova Outpost?
Nora, I'm sorry.
What?
You've always been the strong one. The one who gets things done, the one who keeps going.
Jay, what are you...
But I get it now. It's time for me to be the strong one. To be a soldier. It's time for me to fight. To save the innocent. To protect them. To make sure they survive.
I always told you. Just because you're a technician doesn't mean you can't protect people.
Yeah, people. We're all fighting for the same thing. Well, some of us are.
You're en route to Nova, right? What's your ETA? Jay?
I read you. I'm just under 2 kilometers away from the base of the obelisks.
The obelisk? Jay, that's Eclipse territory. What are you doing?
Like I said,
I'm fighting for them, for the children, for the future.
You can't take them all on alone. We need to regroup at Nova and figure out a plan.
It's okay, Nora. I've got this. Jay out.
Jay! Jay! What the hell was wrong with him?
Uncertain. He did not appear to be performing to usual standards.
That's an understatement. More Eclipse drones.
Negative. Scans indicate these are Nebula issue drones. Hypothesis. If Nebula engaged defensive protocols, their drones may be attacking any unknown or unauthorized personnel.
Lieutenant.
Mr. Morgan, what are you doing on this call?
He barged into comms a few minutes ago. Turns out he has some important info he got off of that classified database of his.
It is important. According to that database, there's a small archaeological team working in the desert where you are right now.
Query. Significance?
All the attacks so far have been on outposts or major installations. This was a tiny team out in the field in the middle of nowhere, almost unknown to everyone.
So Eclipse might have missed them. They might be still alive.
Go check it out if you have time. But don't forget your mission.
No sign of survivors, and all the consoles and computers have been deliberately smashed.
How rude.
So Eclipse destroyed everything? All the work these people did.
I have a suspicion a particularly diligent tech drone could recover some data.
Ah, smug mode. Recommend finding console remains for me to interface with. Downloading data. Basis for Sidiri translation discovered. The team uncovered a stone tablet with both Sidiri text and simple pictographs of natural objects. Sun, moon, water, tree, and so on. Once linguists were able to make connections between specific concepts and words, they could begin extrapolating further.
Okay, but how did they extrapolate the name Sidiri? Seems a long way to go from sun and moon to that.
They have reports on how they reached that particular name. I would be happy to explain their thought process. I would need several hours, a slide projector, and a primer on semiotics, phonemes, and logographic writing systems.
Never mind then.
The team's translations provided new context for these rings. They may have actually been military installments instead of religious structures.
And why did they think that?
The repetition of the Sidiri word for kill on the surface of the rings may be a clue.
I think I liked these Sidiri guys better when we couldn't understand them.
This is where the team was able to translate their first full sentence in Sidiri.
What does it say?
Well, of course, the translation may not be accurate. The archaeologists note that some of the nuance is lost, and of course,
73. What does it say?
they believe it says, "Bad planet, stay away."
We've completed our sweep. No survivors.
At least we recovered all their work for posterity.
It's too bad Eclipse gets to profit off it too. I bet they're all camped around their big old obelisks, translating everything and passing it along to their bosses back home.
That would be difficult, as the translation data would not work for their use. The obelisks are not Sidiri.
Come again.
It was covered in the team's reports. These Sidiri structures are 4,000 years old, but the obelisks predate them by almost double that.
Same race, different time periods?
They considered that theory, but their languages, art, and architecture are completely unrelated to each other.
So, what are you saying? There were two different groups of aliens on this planet? That is exactly what you're saying, isn't it?
So the Sidiri came along later, but why? What the hell happened to them?
And if they didn't build the obelisks, who did?
Let's go. I think I've had enough of this place.
Attempting to access controls.
73?
That was mildly unpleasant. This force field was activated by Nebula security codes shortly after Eclipse attacks began.
Wait, so that would mean...
It is probable that the field was put up by Nebula survivors to protect against Eclipse attacks.
So they might be still alive and safe. Is there any way we can get through?
I am not equipped to bypass this level of security lockout. However, the Nebula drones are authorized to access this system. If I had some of their parts, I could create a spoof ID and gain access.
And how do we get these drone parts?
Blow up some drones and pick up their pieces.
Simple, yet effective. I like it.